What's going on, everyone? Jeremy here, the quartering. I hope you're having a wonderful day. Last night, I got a chance to react in real time to 6 IGN games journalists literally shaking, rocked to their very cores over some new Call of Duty gameplay. I'm not kidding. 6 people that I'm supposed to believe knew what the video game franchise was about, knew what the game was about, went in, came out and gave 6 independent opinions, which all somehow ended up exactly the same. What was their corporate narrative? Well, of course, it was that the new Call of Duty game is just too real. Shocking, right? One of them even tries to use veterans as a shield, saying, well, I'm not sure. I don't know. What if the veterans don't like it? I'm pretty sure every vet that plays video games that I know absolutely love Call of Duty games. I'm sure there are some out there that don't, but it was pathetic seeing as 6 soy-infused individuals talk about how the new game was too real and how it was, what was the word? Jarring. And they were literally shaking. I am convinced, absolutely convinced, that at least one of them cried. I hope you enjoyed my live reaction. If you did, make sure that you remember to click that thumbs up button and leave a funny comment in the comment section down below. Enjoy, fans of urinalism and Call of Duty. What's going on, everyone? Jeremy here from The Quartering, and I'm here with about maybe 2,000 or so people, and somebody said I should watch the IGN hot take on Call of Duty. And I thought, why not record it so that everyone can enjoy it? Tomorrow, of course, they'll see this, but tomorrow I'll add some editorial on the front because obviously my videos have to be at least 10 minutes long so I can get that delicious, delicious mid-roll ad that everyone loves. But let's get into this.
At IGN, we're a bunch of different people with a bunch of different preferences, thoughts. We're individuals.
At least personally, I feel like I don't necessarily want to play 15 to 20 hours of what I was just shown.
It's very jarring, and I found myself feeling extremely uncomfortable during.
Oh my lord. Oh my lord. Like, it was like totally jarring and totally scary, just like war is for real. This feels to me like a planned smear. That's what I think this is, because people know there's been several articles written by journalists talking about how the new Call of Duty Modern Warfare is a little spicy. I did a video earlier today or yesterday if you're watching this on YouTube, and I talked about it. Everybody wrote the same article. War is rough. Yes, it is.
During the demo.
If they get it right, it's going to be one of the most memorable and probably best Call of Duties ever in this annual long-running series.
I hope the game isn't 10 hours of that sort of feel, because that would be very intense and ultimately not very fun.
What? Who doesn't want... Okay, if you're playing an FPS, by the way, if you're playing an FPS, imagine not wanting it to be intense. I came from playing Roblox, and this FPS is just too intense for me. It's not just even one of these dudes. It's, what has it been, 6 right now? 6 different people from IGN are all just saying, whoa, it's just too real. I'm going back to playing Candy Crush on my phone, but I can't afford to buy more time, so I have to wait another 8 hours.
It is extremely visceral, is extremely unsettling, but in spite of all of that, or maybe because of that, I I mean, it's my game of the show.
Oh,
Rules have changed.
okay.
Take a small, covert SWAT-style team.
Tier 1 operators.
Tier
as the
1
game
operators.
calls them.
To do a breach and clear of this terror cell in this house.
A townhouse, yes.
Right.
It's real narrow, and it's just like 4 floors.
Yeah, it's a terraced house in North London. I'm from North London, so I can assure you that it looked very accurate. They even had the correct train on the train line, which
Oh no, they have all of the details correct. How who would want to play a game with all this historical accuracy?
was very
That's impressive.
It is one of the most visually impressive games I've seen.
Yeah, the attention
it does look
to detail.
beautiful.
I think the most jarring part is that, of course, this is in London, and you're crawling through this house. I mean, crawling. You're stealth walking through this house with many people, many team, many guns. You got your night vision goggles. Like, you're all super.
Wait, did she just say night grape? Oh my goodness! Imagine asking people who have never played an FPS to rate it. It would be like giving me I'll use Candy Crush again, and sticking a microphone in my face, but then also calling me a games journalist. But I would play like Candy Crush and be like, what is this? This is dumb. I'm jarred.
It up. But you're going into a civilian house, essentially. And granted, they are terrorists, but...
I know I can read right through her comments. I can read right through what she's trying to say. She goes, well, you're going to a civilian home. Granted, they're terrorists. But it's a civilian.
It's still weird.
On a technical level, I thought they're doing some really interesting things. You know, adding in some new mechanics that will make gunplay, will make the game itself a lot more interesting.
It reminded me of Mile High Club in the sense that there's, you're
This dude ain't in the Mile High Club. I guarantee you that.
weaving your way through. There are a lot of people at very tricky angles.
Yeah.
There are non-combatants.
Yes.
And the line between non-combatant and combatant is every single level is explored to a greater degree.
Yes.
I think from a provocative sense, you start off, there are female combatants.
Oh no! The women are in the game.
There are female combatants being used as human shields that then grab
Yeah.
a gun and try and shoot you.
Oh no.
Whether there are innocents involved or not, you have to kind of make that call as you go through.
And you're trying to do it as quietly as possible to not
Yes.
alert everyone else in the house.
Yeah,
and
because
assuming-
everyone has guns.
Yeah, everyone in this house has an AK.
It's like basically these dudes' worst nightmare.
AK-47 under their bed. It looks
Yeah.
like.
It looked like they were incorporating some Rainbow Six kind of style things where you can shoot through doors, you can shoot through walls, you can peer around corners.
Yeah, you've got the
and-
lean mechanic, which
and-
is really nice.
And
like-
enemies have that too. They'll pop their head around, and if you're quick enough, you can,
Yeah,
you can
it's
nail.
it's unfortunate though because like these mechanics are super interesting. Like they make combat a little
Is he about to give us... Wow, this game has all this amazing features and graphics and realism, but it's unfortunate.
bit more tactical. They give you a lot more options. Like the fact that just at least in this particular demo, like the environments were very destructible. That's all super interesting. But then it puts those mechanics at odds with itself, making you so uncomfortable to the point where, like, I at least personally, I feel like I don't necessarily want to play 15 to 20 hours.
Get this guy a blankie. You have got to be kidding me. This dude is 10 ply soft. Talking about not being nervous about playing a video game. Okay, first of all, maybe he left his binky at home and he's just feeling a little exposed. I hope that nobody here is literally shaking. But the ridiculous part about this is, what do they have, 6? They have 3 teams of 2? And not one of these people are talking about how the game is good. The one guy happened to mention that it was, well, all of these things I hate, but it was still game of the show. Although, Cyberpunk was probably game of the show, but whatever.
Of what I was just shown.
While you are going into a moral gray area, like that's exactly what it is. It is a morally ambiguous area. Your enemies are no longer wearing uniforms that denote that, like, it's not black and white anymore.
You mean like Modern Warfare? The name of the game?
Also where some of the difficulty in, oh, it looks so beautiful and so realistic, so when I have to then shoot these people, it looks like you're shooting.
This is exactly the same line that Dean Takahashi put. Well, the game is too real.
Whether they're terrorists or not, of course.
Infinity Ward is intentionally pushing buttons on this, and that's a risky thing to do.
No, it isn't. What they're doing is providing a deeply intense, high pressure scenarios that appear to be real, like ripped from the headlines.
But and maybe they'll fall flat on their face, and this game's gonna end
No, I don't think they will, my dude.
up being offensive to anyone who's served in the military. I don't know.
Oh, he's using military people as a shield now. Is that what he's doing? I mean, I'm wondering in my head, am I going too far saying that this dude who has probably never been under any real pressure in his life is trying to use the military as a shield for a reason to dislike the game? And oh, by the way, almost 100% of former military people I know play Call of Duty, and only Call of Duty. It's like the only game they play all year round.
That is entirely possible if they get it right. And they remember, this game's being headed by a couple of former leads from Naughty Dog. So there's a pedigree there. If they get it right, it's going to be one of the most memorable and probably best Call of Duties ever in this annual long-running series.
I mean, I think it's really important to remember this was a demo. It was taken out of context, but in the context that they showed it to us, I felt uncomfortable, and it felt, I mean, I don't know, it just felt so real, and I know that's...
No! Buy our new VR headset. It's totally real.
What they were going for, but I don't know, you can speak to this, but just like, that these are real life scenarios.
Right, and so the whole thing what Infinity Ward is going for is like, these are instances taken out of the headlines, right? Mm-hmm. And when you approach that, it has to be done with such care.
No, it doesn't. If I can tell you this, if they released like a shot-for-shot remake of D-Day for the next Battlefield game, it would sell like crazy.
Yeah. And the demo we saw wasn't really given that care because, of course, we don't have the context. We don't have anyone saying, hey, this is where we're at so far, why it's okay for us just to go into the house and shoot everybody in there instead of taking them prisoner, except for like 2 people. And it's not very clear, and so it was just very jarring because of that.
Well, at one point, they break...
Jarring! Ah! IGN 0 out of 10, too real. That's right. That's right.
Into a room, and you train your gun on the person who's in there, and it's a woman, and she's running to...
So? Does this dude not know that there are thousands of women that serve in our armed forces? Not very woke.
A crib, and she picks up a baby, and you're like,
right?
What, what do you do there?
Well, I mean, obviously, if you're a good person, you don't shoot the baby.
What?
We never really saw the consequences of any choices, how differently this mission could have gone. Yeah. What happens if you hadn't shot out that light? What happens if you do accidentally kill the woman and her child? Does the mission end? Do you does it change the story of the game at all?
Yeah, we don't know, and I think that's the biggest question for me, is seeing out like whether there is a lot of choice that impacts the story, or if it is very much a story they intend to tell in a certain way.
IGN is a company that paid thousands of dollars to fly these people out.
If there is some kind of choice that you can make in the game, that wasn't in the demo.
Right,
that we
and so
saw.
I think that would be if the headline coming out of the Modern Warfare reboot or reimagining, whatever you want to call it, if the headline coming out of this was you can play this game non-lethally, I think that would have, if that had been tacked onto the
What? What? Oh my God. Yes. It's Call of Duty. Dude. You die in Mario. How are you gonna how am I gonna value your opinion? This review on Call of Duty is literally the embodiment of you can't spell ignorant without IGN.
in that demo, like that would have really changed my opinion of it.
I think it's how this moral system pays off, if there is any element of choice, and the story they're trying to tell. Is it just a realistic, gritty story that I read on the news every day? Because that's not a game I want to play, really.
Yeah, except 25 million people will want to play that game. They had 6 employees, fancy microphones, flying people out to go to the E3 convention. And not one of these 6 people understand a single person that plays Call of Duty. Not one. If I could play Call of Duty non-lethally, what?
For now, the gameplay that I saw,
Yes.
I'm with you. I thought it was compelling, it was interesting, and it made
But-
I'm already more interested in the Call of Duty campaign than I have been in years. And I know that's like a backhanded compliment at this
Sure.
point, but it's actually true. I am
it's true for me as well.
very interested in what's going on with this game.
I'm looking forward to seeing more, to see what the whole game is.
Why? You already said it was too jarring and shocking, and you would never want to play that game. Imagine having 6 people and not one of them understand anything about what gamers want. And then have them all work for a video game company that attends E3 and records high-quality videos like this. There's no way that these dudes didn't have a talking point.
I don't know if it'll be fun, but it's doing something different, so I'm giving it that at least.
Is that okay for video games to do? I think absolutely. I think it's a medium to tell stories. I hope that Call of Duty read the line between being respectful, and I hope their intentions are altruistic here. I want to see more, frankly.
Me too.
We'll see. Again, open-minded. I'm excited.
You are not open-minded. You just put together a 7-minute clip where 4 of the 6 people essentially were complaining about it the entire time. And then you expect me to believe you're going to be open-minded? You aren't open-minded enough to understand that this is a Modern Warfare game, that this is a Call of Duty game.
To see the multiplayer
I just want to see
eventually.
multiplayer.
Yes.
Like, that's what that's what we love.
That's what I'm really excited about.
Yeah.
So.
You're really excited about it? You're really excited about multiplayer? Really? Really? John Cena coming through. Are you sure about that? I mean, what am I supposed to... These people don't like video games. None of them. Maybe these 2. I mean, you have 100 employees. You couldn't have put one on this panel that actually enjoys FPS games? IGN. Boy, I hope I end up uploading this because it's going to be a gold mine.